Wendy Wesley, a registered dietitian, nutritionist here in the St. Pete Free Clinic Teaching Kitchen, and I'm going to make a recipe from the new book, St. Pete Eats. And it is a very easy and fresh summer recipe from the restaurant Punky's on Central Avenue. And it's one of my favorite places to go. And it has just 5 ingredients, super simple, no crazy equipment, they're just a knife and a bowl and a spoon, and away you go. So it is green apple cucumber salad, and here it is in the book. And this is kind of gives you an idea what the book looks like. It's beautiful, beautiful book. Like I said, real easy, 5 ingredients from Punky. So let's get started. This recipe makes, it yields servings for 10. So I'm just gonna cut it in half and do it for 5. And it starts with 3 green apples. It calls for 3 green apples, but I'm just gonna use 1.5. I've already cut some here along with the cucumber, and so I'm going to demonstrate how to cut this apple. Apples are kind of these green apples are difficult to cut, require a bit of work, and just to be careful, make sure you're using a sharp knife. The most dangerous thing in your kitchen is a dull knife, and the best thing, the safest thing, is a sharp knife. So I've sharpened these before we got started. So I'm just going to do half of this green apple. I'm going to come down on it right down the middle. And it does have a little bit of bruising, not the end of the world. And I'm going to cut flat. I always cut flat, and that's the safest way to do that. The recipe asked us to slice it thin, and I'm going to take some cuts. These are some vertical cuts that I'm going to come back to the apple and cut horizontally. And I'm going to make some chunks. And you see how I have these nice green apple chunks. I leave on the skin because I want to get the fiber into the salad, and I also want to get that beautiful green color. So these are the chunks that I've made for the salad. Going to dump those all in, and I've already done 1 apple in this bowl. The other thing it asked for is 3 cucumbers, and so I'm going to cut it in half, and so that's 1.5 cucumbers. One thing I usually do with my cucumbers is I seed them because there's a lot of water in the middle of this cucumber, and it can water down your dressing. So I'm going to cut off the end of my cucumber, and I'm going to cut flat, always cutting flat safely right down the middle. And then what I do is to seed it, I take a spoon. And with a little bowl, this is actually my compost bowl. This is all going to go in my compost pile. I seed the cucumber, which is just taking the edge of a spoon and just really simple, just scooping out the seeds. And then what I'm doing is I'm scooping out all the water. The reason I'm doing this is because I don't want this water to leach out into the dressing, because the salt in the dressing will suck the water out, and it'll make for a very soggy salad. So that's why I'm seeding the cucumber. Just like that. So it's kind of like a little boat. And again, what I'm going to do is cut thin slices for my salad of the cucumber. Okay, so that part's done. Apple's done, cucumber's done. The next ingredient is the half of a red onion, but because I'm cutting the recipe in half, it's going to be 1/4 of a red onion. I've already cut the end off of this, so I am cutting flat, and what I'm going to do is cut right through the middle. This is the part, that had the root right here. And so this is 1/4 of this onion. And so I'm going to take off just a little bit more. And then this skin looks a little tough. I'm going to remove the skin because this is kind of tough. I'm going to remove the skin. Again, all these things I cut off this onion are perfect for my compost pile. So always cutting flat. I'm going to lay it flat. I'm going to take some vertical cuts. Use this knife. Take some vertical cuts on the onion, straight down, and this is going to yield a nice dice when I come and take these other cuts. I think the blue cheese is in the way. Let me move the blue cheese over. So that's one of the ingredients, is blue cheese. That's what makes this such a delicious recipe, is the blue cheese. Look at that beautiful dice that I've gotten from this onion. So nice, pretty dice that I got out of my onion. That goes in the bowl. Lastly, it calls for 1 cup of blue cheese, but I'm cutting it in half, so 1/2 cup. Now, blue cheese crumbles nice and easy. And let's see. Let me see. I've got my, those onions are working on me. Wow. Woo. And then here I have 1/2 cup of the blue cheese, throwing that in. Lastly, the recipe calls for 2 to 3 cups of blue cheese dressing. So again, cutting it in half, I'm just going to do 1 cup of the blue cheese dressing. So this is a half cup. I'm going to fill it up. Actually, you know what? I'm going to start with just a half cup and see how it does. Because a cup of blue cheese dressing, that's a lot. That's a lot. And blue cheese is one of those things that's just incredibly calorically dense. So I'm going to try and lighten this recipe up just a little bit. And I'm going to just start with a cup. Remember, you can always add more, but you can't take away once you've added it. So let's give this a stir. It looks like it's coating nicely. I may want to add just a little bit more. I know the recipe called for double of this blue cheese, but experiment. You may find that this light coating of the blue cheese dressing is just enough. Okay, and there it is. Very, very simple. Red onions, cucumbers with the skins on, green apple with the skins on, blue cheese chunks, like real blue cheese, and then blue cheese dressing. Mix it all together. Don't add any salt because there's plenty of salt in the blue cheese and also in the dressing. And this is a beautiful salad. I'm going to let it sit for a minute. I'm going to taste it and see how it does. And then if it needs more, I will add it. But don't go crazy with the dressing. If you want to make it lighter, go a little lighter with it. And I'm Wendy Wesley. I'm a registered dietitian, nutritionist here in the St. Pete Free Clinic Teaching Kitchen. And I'm making this recipe from the city's new book called St. Pete Eats. And I'm doing this for the St. Pete Catalyst. And I thank you all for listening.